let's get ourselves rolling everywhere. So we are doing an alien radio signal hunt tonight. We are searching on the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorize that if ET is out there, this is where they'll put the message, hello, is anybody else out there? And in the past, we have detected some anomalous signals here, technological in nature and apparently not coming from Earth. Hold on, we've got a little bit of a technical error there. Why is that one frozen? Let's just start that one again. There we go. Now we can actually hear it and see the signals. Oh, it's a really clear signal coming through here and here tonight. So yeah, we're listening out for anomalous radio signals that are coming in from amongst the stars. As the Earth rotates, our dish is going to sweep across the night sky there, passing over various stars and their planets there. Hopefully one's going to be inhabited by intelligent life and sending us a signal. If it does, we'll see it on all of the meters down here tonight. So we're using what's called software-defined radio to listen in and decode those signals and display them, what we're seeing here. In short, we want that red line to look like the green line. But those channels of interest are there and here. There we go. That is where we want to see the signals. You can see a little bit further along, we are getting some signals there. But I suspect they are interference signals in nature there. But we'll keep an eye out. Maybe they'll do something strange. How you doing, Carl? Good to see you in. How was your weekend? Been there. Thank you for the gifts. All goes back into the stream. Maya, how are you doing tonight as well? Good to see you. Are we all ready to go for the week we've got ahead? It's always a shame, isn't it, on a Sunday? But we can wind the weekend up with a little bit of an alien radio signal hunt tonight there. Not too bad. I like it. I was at a bit of a loss this weekend. I didn't know which way was up. Normally, I've got enough obvious chores that I can do, and I had to kind of. There was stuff, but it wasn't easy, and I found myself like a bit of a loose end. So I ended up doing other odds and sods there today. Deep clean. I need structure, apparently. How you doing, Wayfind, as well? And Bareness Glasses Sunday. I'm throwing you all off today. I wasn't gonna today, but then I ended up as one of my random chores. I was cutting up the Christmas tree and having to burn it. So then I stank of smoke. I was like, I need another shower this evening. Out come the contact lenses there. It's Alan Walkie's time, almost, Mayor. He's not had much to eat yet. There. And thank you for the likes there, Wayfind and Ben. Appreciate those, as it all helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourself. That and the shares really does help us, make some new friends. You never know who's going to come in with what. But we've had a fantastic week this week for sky watching. It's getting good again. I'm remembering the excitement we had during summer there, just seeing how beautiful, clear and colourful the night skies are, and also so busy. Tomorrow is meant to be good again, so we're looking forward to hopefully another sky watch there. I'll double check with whoever. Silence as well, thank you for the likes. How are you doing there? But yeah, hopefully this week is going to be packed full of sky watches too. Might be a few more alien radio signal hunts there, but nevertheless we're going to be searching for evidence there. So that is what we're doing tonight there. As the Earth rotates, our dish is going to sweep across the night sky there, passing over various stars and their planets, hoping one of them is going to be sending us a signal. Quite rare, but it is possible and it can happen. The more we do it, the more our statistical odds increase. There have been so many anomalous signals detected over the years. We're hoping to get one ourselves there. A bit chilly tonight, but it's clear over. Oh, Ben, whereabouts are you? And can you send that clear sky our way? I kind of saw one star just before I went out, and I'm like, do I set the camera up? Maybe it will clear up. But I don't know. I don't trust the weather there. Lax, how are you doing? How has your weekend been there? Lax in Harco's in across the board. How are you doing? It's Glasses Sunday, Harco. Yeah, I'm going to throw people off. It's normally Glasses Monday, but last couple of weeks I've been all out of routine there. Blackburn's a bit, but well, hopefully it is going to clear up for later. Maybe I'll run out and set the camera up if we're lucky. We'll have to see if it does clear up. But we've got some activity tonight there. It's ever changing, isn't it? Look at that. We're getting some signals just off to the sides. You can see them there, both quite clearly. In fact, we did have one signal that's dropped down at the beginning of the stream, so that's interesting because how long those signals stay on screen for indicates roughly where they may be located there. So if you imagine, if I've got my Wi-Fi router around here and that's on a certain frequency, if it's physically with me in the room, we're going to detect it all of the time there. But if there's a distant planet out there that's sending us a signal, as we're rotating, we're sweeping over that planet these distances quite fast. We'd expect between 30 and 90 seconds, and the fact that that one was there and now it's not, and we've only been on the stream a couple of minutes, that could have been an anomaly there. Now, it wasn't exactly where we would expect to see it. It's a little bit further along, but it's still very interesting. So let's keep our eyes peeled and see if anything else strange happens tonight there. And free, you're across all platforms. That is commitment, Harko. We do appreciate that. I've been doom scrolling all weekend. That is a trap I always fall into. If there's not a clear task to do, then it is doom scroll. I feel that one. It's so hard nowadays. It's why I don't use TikTok other than for streaming, because it is so effective at showing you stuff like that. The amount of time I was getting caught just scrolling. I'm like, I need to come away. I want to come away. I'm not having fun, but I couldn't. I just couldn't. I'd be there for 2 hours would go past. It's insane, isn't it, how hard it is, even if you're conscious of it there as well. Alex, thank you for the likes. Guys, it is those likes and shares that helps us reach more and more like-minded people like yourself there. And all your ringing in your left ear has stopped. Now I've got it in your right ear. Oh, okay, so it's switched. Okay, so maybe the events are still happening there. Interesting there. And your SDR also works, but it's pretty deaf there. Hey, it's good to test these things, Harko. Version 1. And all that there. And sync there, try to remember, you're not going to miss anything there. Or in what sort of sense? In what sort of sense? There, so guy, oh, do you mean with the doom scrolling? There, because that is the thing I had in my head, that I was like, oh, I need to have these social platforms. Yeah, that's it, sync. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I always lose track of where I am. But yeah, I used to think, especially with Instagram, that was my one. That I'm like, oh, it's inspiration. I see things otherwise I wouldn't have seen elsewhere. But it's a trick, isn't it? It's not necessarily the case. And then you end up, at least if you do the one good post that you do see there, you've got about 6,000 of pointless ones that's hogged your day and probably messed up your emotions. It definitely does that with me there. Oh, the audio is... Oh, it's peaking. That's interesting. That's weird. How is the audio for anybody else? Is it peaking for you guys? I'm trying to think where the problem might be. We haven't adjusted the settings, so I'm going to turn my mic down a touch. Maybe that'll help there, just in case I've lent on it and slipped out there. Thank you for the situation report there, Harker, and for the gifts there. Appreciate those. All goes back into the stream there. And had a thought when we got the wow signal from a planet, and that planet has moved position now. So the wow signal is interesting, Carl. So I like it there. Excellent, Harker. Maybe I must have lent on my fader there. I was a little bit loud, so hopefully a little bit easier for you guys to hear there. AUP has it too, and a few other people in the community, which makes sense. People more open to these things, more in touch with that sort of stuff. It's interesting if we could start to match it up, couldn't we, with like celestial calendar events or anything like that. Look for those correlations there. How you doing, Zen? Good to see you. But yes, so the wow signal detected in 73 or 74, I think it was, there. No, sorry, we sent a signal in 73, 74. Wow signal was detected in 78. Now, the interesting part, we don't know specifically where it came from, but we know the rough part of the sky. It was somewhere in the Sagittarius constellation, which is where 3i Atlas was coming from. What we do know is that the stars there in that direction are, I think they start at a few hundred light years away. So that means at a minimum there, it would that signal had been traveling for, a few hundred years. There for that one. So which star could it have been? There wasn't some clear candidates because they're all so far away. The actual signal required, or the energy required to transmit that signal over those distances, would have been so large there. But as Carl said there, a planet that may have moved. There are things called rogue planets and rogue stars. They're just because there's no obvious candidates, no obvious clear light in the sky where certain signals could be coming from, doesn't mean there's not something in between, or some sort of craft or something like that, Carl. So you could be onto something there. Rogue planets, we are starting to detect them now, and maybe the signal could be in a different position. It could well have done there. The constellations, like the main star system, they move around as one, don't they? So we can kind of just keep track like that. But if it's a rogue planet, something in between there, something not clearly attached to a normal star system there, Carl, you could be very, very right there. Something transient even there. Man, doom scrolling is you end up on some strange picture. You end up on a channel like this one. End up the weird part of the internet there, and sync as well there. Could the wow signal have been 3i Atlas? Maybe I'm not too smart. This sync 100%. That this is what we need, though. But just a bit of logical brain thinking here, because science is very quick to write a lot of this stuff off. But in recent years, there's been a few things that. that have turned out, actually, maybe science is getting it a little bit wrong. They're coming back round to the more logical conclusion with these things. So, honestly, don't sell yourself short there. It came from that direction. Something moving in between, because if we say, we sent that signal a few years beforehand there, which was, the Arecibo message. We are humans, we are on the third planet from our star, etc., etc. And Blue Nose, thank you for the gift. That's very, very kind of you. How you doing tonight? There, we sent our message, and some people said, oh, well, we got the wow signal a few years later. Maybe it was a reply. Now, the issue is that 74 to 78 is only about 4 years. So to send that message, the maximum distance it could have travelled and then received one back would have been 2 light years each way. So that's very, very close. There's no star. Our closest star, stellar neighbour, is about 4.6 light years away. But that doesn't discount an object, maybe like something like 3i Atlas there, a ship, a craft, something that could transmit. So although it's hard for us to confirm that, to collapse that down from a possibility into a definite, it's still a possibility, and sometimes a very, very strong one. And the reasons why the scientific community will often write these things off is not because they've got more evidence to the contrary at all. In fact, they've got a lower bar threshold to write things off than they do to go our way with things. And Simon, how you doing? Thank you for the heart to there. Blue Nose, Leanne coming in with the likes. Do appreciate those guys. All the likes and shares do help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves. The more eyes and minds on the odd phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. But we're doing an alien radio signal hunt tonight. We've got a dish outside pointing up to the night sky as the Earth rotates. It sweeps across the night sky, passing over various stars. Hopefully one of those stars will have a planet in orbit inhabited by intelligent life capable and choosing to send us a signal. And if so, we're going to see it on the meters down here. They're very rare, but they do happen. We do get these anomalous signals that look technological in nature, not coming apparently from this Earth. And that is what we are on the lookout for tonight. And as our equipment gets more sensitive, we detect more and more of these ones. And some of them are from some very close by stars indeed, or they appear to be. And it's very, very interesting there. When people say, where is all the evidence for the aliens? If they're out there, where's the evidence? We get lots of evidence. It's just confirming it, which is very difficult to do with the equipment that we have. Our current technological state there. Good to see you, Simon, and thank you, Sync, for following us. Do appreciate that. So if we are not doing this, if it's cloudy, we do this. We do the alien radio signal hunt. If it's a clear sky, then we do, I don't know if this is going to work now, there we go, we do a skywatch, and we had a fantastic one last night. We see all the weird and wonderful things moving around in the night sky. We're based in Wiltshire in the UK, which, if you know, is right in the heart of crop circle country, just down the road from Stonehenge. So there's lots of stuff to see in the skies there. Moonwatch as well, if we can be bothered and the moon's up, and another weird one as well there. And Adele, thank you for the likes. How are you doing today? And it's Glasses Sunday, Leanne. Of course I don't. There, ironic there. Thank you for the stickers there, Blue Nose. And do you have any way to send signals back when you do detect sites? So I think this is the next part of the equation. No is the short answer to that. We don't have a license. We're receiving only, sadly, like your car radio, we're listening in. I would love the ability to do that, but there's a few factors at play here. Now, this frequency that we're listening on, which is where the anomalous signals have mostly been heard in the past, but it's also where scientists think we are most likely to hear those signals. There's a very good reason why. This is actually reserved for listening only there. So useful for science there, for radio astronomy. Nobody's allowed to make equipment that transmits on this frequency, and nobody's allowed to just broadcast on it there. International treaty, because it messes up all the radio telescopes. It's one of the very, very few channels on the dial that is reserved for listening only. So we wouldn't be able to transmit a message back on this frequency, which is the place most logical to have these messages of the conversation, sadly. But the other part of it is that licensing for this sort of thing is generally quite difficult there. If you want to be a ham radio user there, you can get a license and you can talk to your friends. But for doing SETI, or technically METI, which is the messaging of extraterrestrial intelligence, I'm not sure if they'd give us a license for it, sadly. The other part of the equation here is the power required for it. So we sent that message back in the early 1970s. We sent it for our most powerful radio telescope there, which was also a transmitter. It was a space radar as well. Sadly, we've lost it. But if you saw, is it GoldenEye? The one where old James Bond is having a fight at the end over the big the satellite dish, or the telescope there. That's the Arecibo space telescope, and that's what we used to send that message as well. So we've lost that now, sadly, but it requires a hell of a lot of energy to send these signals, so they're going to be strong enough by the time they reach those distances. And also with the distance as well, you can't get around just how long it takes. So if our closest stellar neighbour there is Proxima Centauri, which may be sending us anomalous signals, in of itself that's very interesting. Our closest stellar neighbour may have life that is at least at the same technological level that we are, maybe more advanced there if they are sending radio signals, so that's very interesting. But if we want to have a conversation with them at 4.6 light years away, it means if I was to send a message there, if I did have the transmitter that's powerful enough, I'd say, hello, Proxima Centauri, and they wouldn't get that for 4.6 years, because radio waves travel at the speed of light, maximum, there, and then they'll get it, and they go, oh, better reply to Sam, he sounds like an interesting fella, and they'll say, hello, Earth, how's it going? And that'll take another 4.6 years there, so that'd be 9.2-ish years for for the two-way communication there. But even if we got it, how do we know what their language is? Is life going to be so different that we don't have anything common there to even start to understand communication? It's quite possible, but for us, just getting a signal, just getting a clearly technological signal, not from this Earth, would be so exciting there to be able to confirm that there. Simon coming in the likes, thank you there. And Hazy, do the signals make any sound when detected? So, yeah, hold on, if I shut up, which is a rarity, hold on, turn the music down. That is that background noise that we're seeing here, all of this squiggles. Same as the static on your TV or in between the radio stations. That is what's called the cosmic microwave background there. Scientists think that is the leftover radio emissions from the Big Bang, or just ever so slightly after, which is pretty cool that we could be listening to the results of the Big Bang right there. But basically, we're listening on that frequency. If we get it through, you'll hear it. It's wired straight through to you guys there. You'll see it spike, and you'd also hear it. But that's what that sound is in the background there. Depending on what that message is, it's unlikely going to be excuse me, it's unlikely going to be an alien voice going hello there, or alien music, whatever it might be, because for us to do that with our radio, we do something called modulation, which is how we encode the message in radio. Radio itself is actually a natural phenomena. Many things radiate and produce radio waves, hence this frequency that we're listening to. It's called the hydrogen line, and this is the frequency that hydrogen naturally emits a radio frequency, I think, as it decays there, and because it's the most abundant element anywhere in the galaxy you can tune into hydrogen. You can tune in and listen to an element there. And technically that's what we're listening to, but it's getting drowned out by the background noise at the minute there. But yeah, so it's a tricky one. How do you do over the distances there? But if we did get something through there, we might just be just a bleep, and that's all we would need. Radio is quite unambiguous there. It tells you a lot about itself there. We might not be able to decode it, but it might just be simple bleeps there. It might be core mathematics, maybe just the handshake, just saying to somebody, look, we're here and we're intelligent. That in of itself would be amazing there. And you are as well, Harko, there. You're licensed. We're going to get you to do the sending of the message, Harko. How much power have you got? How far would that signal be detectable there? If we got a signal on this line, you would hear it straight away there. Thank you for the awesome questions there, Sync. I absolutely love them. Guys, if you're joining us, do say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from, but also ask away. There are no silly questions here. Maybe it's about what we're doing. Maybe if you've seen something in the news, you've had your own strange experience. We'd love to hear about that as well there. Or if you maybe you're anti the aliens, maybe you think we're all alone, tell us. I'd like to hear about it as well. It's always good to have opposing views so we can together work out what the truth of it is there. Where are we there? And Ben's in as well. We're all good. It's Sunday, sadly, ready for work, but we're here and we're together and we're doing an alien radio signal hunt. You never know, tonight might be the night. The red line could go green. We could hear a message from ET there. Hazy wondered how the audio was heard or what we're hearing. So, brilliant question. If you've got it, somebody else in the chat is going to have that question too, so thank you for asking it. Radio is such an interesting thing. There are so many strange phenomena about it, but it's quite simple. It's simple in a lot of ways there, but it's a strange beast as well there. It's its own science. But, I mean, there are certain things that we can do to filter out any messages that we do get in there. First of all, we need to make sure, well, the first point actually is that the signal comes through where we expect it here on these two lines, or just around it there. That's the first point, because that's when we think logically aliens would put that message. Of all the channels in the dial, this is the one most likely for them to do it. Mainly because if you're a civilization and you are purposely just you don't know the reciprocant there, you just want to send a message out there. Maybe it's hello, maybe it's goodbye, maybe it's a warning, don't develop AI, or whatever it could be there. Out of all the channels on the dial and even other technologies to communicate, this is the most likely place, because as we mentioned earlier, this is the frequency that hydrogen naturally emits a signal. That means it's a very good baseline for radio astronomy, for learning about the universe constantly. So there'll always be eyes and ears monitoring this frequency, regardless of what our communication technology might be. The same is true for aliens. So this is going to be the most monitored frequency. So if you want a message, here is the best place to put it there. And what's the laser being pointed at Earth from outer space? Any clue? So, Simon, a brilliant question here. So we're going to other communication. This is radio. That would be a light communication. But, yeah, so radio isn't the best way necessarily to communicate over long distances. Laser light could be a great one there. And a recent study by a chap who was doing his doctoral thesis or something, but he had the idea that if there's an advanced alien civilization, they'd probably have like an alien internet, and the best way to do that is node-based communication, kind of how we do it here. And he thought, well, lasers crossing that distance would be the best way for those nodes to connect. And if his hypothesis is true, you should be able to look up and look to see if there's any lasers being shot around. Lasers are interesting because they're technological in nature there, not organic, and also they're directed, which means you only see it if it's being pointed at you. And so he got some telescope data, not a lot of it, but for a few years worth from one telescope, from one project I think it was, and he looked in there, and it's, you know, you're looking for a very specific light frequency being picked up there, so you can easily filter it out. He got lots of candidate signals there, and the paper is going for peer review now, but it's looking very interesting that there are quite a few people shining lasers towards us here on Earth, so that does point that there could be a lot of strange things going on up there. How you doing, Kate? Good to see you there, and Hazy, thank you for the likes. Do appreciate the likes, guys. The likes and the shares, they do help us reach more and more like-minded people like yourselves there. And the more eyes and minds on the old phenomena, the more we can all piece this puzzle together. But do give us a follow. We do something like this every night. Again, clear skies. We do the old UFO, UAP skywatch like we was doing last night. It was wonderfully clear. Lots of movement in the sky. Absolutely stunning there. Hopefully we'll be doing that again tomorrow. If the moon's up as well, we do the moon watch there. See all the craters, all the details. Talk about how weird the moon is as well there. So we're always on the hunt for evidence there. Up to us, the hard or odd. Sync and keep it. Honestly, they are good because sometimes they just get your brain thinking. And the ones that I like as well, the ones I don't know the answer to. And honestly, there's quite a lot of those. But somebody in the chat always will. And that's what I think is great about being connected as we are now. That it's all an opportunity for us to learn together there. And at some point, will the signals of the Big Bang, the TV static and the radio just stop? Or will it keep? You know what, Ben? I don't know. Will it keep going? You know, I don't actually know the answer to that one. Maybe it'll, because the universe is expanding, it's the current belief there, maybe it will, with the speed of light, it won't be able to catch up to a certain point. That's a good question. You know what? I do not know that one. There, and Quantum there. I come in unity. I love it. Where are you coming to us from tonight? Good to have you in there. Lisa coming in with the shares. Thank you for that one. So yeah, and where are we? And thank you, Hazy. Keep it up. And could use pulsed laser modulated into a signal. So you could, and this is how Starlink communicates to its other satellites. So Starlink is the SpaceX communications. What do you call it there? Satellite constellation. There we go. So it's like a network of satellites constantly overhead. It's why they're putting so many of them up there in space, and it's, you know, ground to earth satellite internet. You get your special receivers, and some mobile phones now connect directly to the satellites there, but the satellites work on that node base in a very similar way. They actually point lasers to each other as they're all orbiting around, just shooting those lasers to connect everything together. So over the longer distances there, I mean, they don't save for time, can't go faster than light for communication, sadly, but they are very much a good way to communicate. Very steady. You can code a lot of data in a laser light signal there. And Mike there. And what is the point there? It solves nothing. All that happens is you hit a brick wall with zero answers there. What's the point of what? Listening? Listening, getting a signal? Or knowing there's life out there? What's the thing? So I'll take it for now, but do let us know what the specifics was. But sort of listening out there, of getting an answer. So you're right in a sense that, you know, that we will be left with more questions. there, and it's a big reason why the SETI organisations there, actually it's their policy to not tell us until they have, you know, 100% confirmation, which would be very difficult for them to get from down here there. So they might be hiding, and there's a good argument they are hiding a lot of candidate signals there. But the fact that if we got a clearly technological signal coming from not from this earth there, it would confirm intelligent life out there in the stars, which is speculated there, but it's by no means understood, or it's the scientific consensus. It would be majorly important to have that eureka signal for that. Now, you know, what does that mean? What would their intent be? What would the message say? Are they going to visit us? Are they good? Are they bad? Do they have 5 heads? Lots of questions would come around that, totally, but we have to start to chip away at them. We're never going to know all of the secrets of the universe, but we have to try. That's how we progress forward with all of the things there. Rio, how are you doing tonight there? Good to see you there. Astra's in as well. Leanne, thank you for the shares there. And Harko, they use lasers to measure the distance from the Earth to the Moon. And there's a few mirrors on the Moon, so 100% there. And Leanne,
nom nom nom, thanks,
thank you for feeding Alan. All goes back into streaming unless it goes into Alan's belly there. But yeah, they're right. It was the Apollo era. They put the reflective mirrors, didn't they? Reflective mirrors, on the surface, so then they could bounce a laser off the Moon and get accurate measurements there, which is cool there. Is that LYF J-Berg there? What do you think of Skinwalker Ranch? So that was one of the first series that was mentioned to by you guys in the community back in the summer, and I started watching. I got a few episodes in, and then I got no free time, so I haven't caught up to it. I think it's very, very interesting. Very interesting there. Now they do a little bit something like this there, but they're listening on 1.6 gigahertz. We're down a little bit lower there at 1.420. The hydrogen line, they're a little bit higher up, and what they're doing is they've got these anomalous signals they think might be, as one of the many anomalies there, might be related to UFO activity there, whereas what we're doing is we're listening for a potential signal coming in from deep space there, and a civilization sending a message that they don't know will even be heard. They don't know who the recipient is there. For us, if we were to check on the 1.6 for UFO to UFO communication there, we might get a lot of signals, but we wouldn't be able to tell if it was a UFO or man-made by where we are. We're in quite a built-up area, lots of military stuff around, and that frequency is used for things. But I think there's a lot of anomalies with Skinwalker Ranch there. I always am a bit, when anything's a TV show, there's a lot of production pressure on. But I do think there's a lot of interesting things there with that one. I do want to watch a lot more of it there. And Ben, if we don't listen and or watch, we will always be left wondering if we are exactly. It's human nature to search, isn't it? To reach out, and probably reach a little bit too much sometimes there. But the curiosity is useful. It's what pushes us forward there. And I did get a story from my mate. If you remember, he's oh yes, I remember you said that. Yeah. Oh, I want to hear more from your mate there. That does sound fascinating there. What was the story? And as Asabic there, and I need to time travel back to 1984, age 10. I saw a huge UFO above a church, a few houses away. Now that is pretty cool. What sort of UFO was it there? Like, could you see the craft physical outline, like a classic saucer or a triangle craft there, or was it like an anomalous light things? Because when we're doing the skywatches, we've seen a lot of anomalous light movements and things like that, but I haven't seen the craft shape myself, and I really, really want to. Was it a day sighting as well? Thank you for sharing that one, Asa. It's pretty cool there. And Sync, I believe a life is undoubtedly put there, and if we believe the universe is infinite. And you're right there, and I think mainstream scientific now, actually in these areas, they do think that life is going to be quite common. The reason that scientists and a lot of the scientific areas haven't quite caught up yet, but they didn't know that there were other planets. They as far as they knew, that those stars could be all on their own, no necessarily other planets. Our solar system could be unique, but in the 90s we started to be able to slowly detect other planets, exoplanets as we call them, and now we're getting quite a lot of them. So we now know that there are other planets, and therefore life itself is probably going to be quite common. They won't go to intelligent or complex or even civilizations. They're still waiting on that one. But I think if you look to how diverse life is here on Earth, There's a species, a niche, an organism for every niche, every environment there. Why would the universe be any different there? I think there's a starting point, unless it's proved that we are special. So I think there's going to be a lot out there as well. How you doing? A up as well. Thank you for the roses. Very kind. All goes back into the stream there. Rachel, good evening there. I can't stay for long. Daddy's not. Oh, I hope he feels better because he wasn't feeling good last night as well. But thanks for popping by, Rachel, for that one. Oh, goal achieved already. Well done. And I'm obsessed with Skinwalker Ranch there. It is an interesting one. It's one of those sorts of places, like the pyramids for me. I want to go there and I want to see it for myself. I don't like trusting other people with this stuff. I've got it in my head that if I go to these places, I'll just have a look at it and I'll figure it out. Obviously, that's not the case. Many of us smarter people have done that, but I have this compulsion that I want to, let me get in there. Let me get my hands dirty. We'll figure it out, lads. There, Beer Buster, I heard turbulent air overhead at work last night. Turbulent air. That's interesting. And B there, how's Alan doing today? We're all good. We're all good there. B, how are you feeling? You're still good, I hope, on that one there. And what might those constant spikes be to the right there? I think I only remember seeing one before. So these are interesting. They're probably interference there. Now, the way we'll predict this is how long that they are with us. So maybe there's some device in my room close to our equipment there, maybe on the electrical circuit there, that's introducing a little bit of noise. They're not there consistently, but they are there quite often. So it'll be how long they are on the screen for, because if they're longer than 30 seconds, then they're not going to be too far away there. And if they're longer than a few minutes, the longer they're on screen for, the closer they tend to be, closer to the source of the signal. And these look very similar to the ones we've seen previously. So they probably will be that, but it's quite hard to whittle it down, to converge it down. Sorry, tubers, I will get to you guys in a minute. I'm just trying to clear up some of the messages here. And where are we? It's a good one there. And what are skinwalkers are meant to be? So I'm going to butcher this one, but it's something along the lines of a sort of a Native American. Is it like, not folklore? Is it like a witch doctor sort of person that basically it's a certain type of ritual they perform, and I think basically they have to kill someone they love or something like that is how it is, and they become this demonic entity that can shapeshift, I think is the rough shift on it. Probably totally badly, but somebody will correct me for the specifics there. And clear as day, 7 of us witnessed it, including neighbours, even the time because we forced Mum to ring the radio night owls in Teesside. That is pretty cool. So 84 as well. So there was a spate of triangular sightings seen around then as the 80s and the 90s, which they do think might have been the reverse engineered TR-3B, the Americans making their own version of the craft, which I think is pretty cool. Was it a triangular one there? Oh, skinwalkers are other entities who feed off of human life forces, putting it simply. Thank you, Kate, there for the for corrections. And I think craft scene above the church is really fascinating there. Or if your uncle. Where are we? Just. Where are we? Oh, Eric there. My mum was too scared to try and take a photo, which I still tease her about there. And it was a magnificent though. So that is interesting because a lot of people do describe seeing this sort of stuff as sort of like deeply profound. Almost like what you describe it as a religious experience previously there. It's this confirmation that the world isn't quite as we expected, and it's normally seen in a positive look at the possibility. Things are so much more interesting there, but a lot of people as well kind of get freaked out, and I think I'd probably be the freaked out kind with it there. They're working with high pressure and high temperature to create a mini pulsar for speed. That is okay. That's quite cool there. Pulsars are a very interesting phenomena there. Again, also ties into the ET. Potentially they may be using them as sort of a galactic GPS there. And Paleo Stephen there, they are real. I've had hundreds of sightings in the country with a high-powered telescope there. Brilliant. Whereabouts in the world are you based there? It's good to have you in for that and seeing them. And I just think we don't look. This is one of the things that I have noticed doing this stream, which really, really surprised me. especially over the summer when we had hundreds of people in for that. Like, people would come in, they'd share their experiences. Again, my favourite bit. But coming away from it, like, I realised that actually sightings aren't as rare as we think. It's just that they're not talked about as much. Like, I think if the stigma goes and we can talk about this a bit more freely, like the true objective amount of sightings and, you know, phenomena, I think it's going to be a much, much higher there. And we don't pay a lot of attention, and also it's also suppressed a little bit as well there. That's all he'll tell you. Oh, it's always frustrating. I've got a friend like that, and you always want a bit more. But they're I wouldn't be able to take the Official Secrets Act or any of these, you know, what do they call it there when you're not allowed to talk? I just couldn't do it. I've got a big mouth there. And Ricky, thank you for the follow. Where are you joining us from tonight there? And a bright main beam lights and a window there. I felt a low hum, otherwise silent there. Hello.
That's why I came up to tell you, because I said to them, the low hum sounds just like the Woman's Thing.
Oh yeah,
and
that was part of it.
They said, was that in the 80s as well? And I said, I think so, but I thought I'd check with you.
It started in the 60s. But it did start with a low hum and weird noises, which again is not very common for the UFO side of things. And thank you, Doug. Not very common at all, actually. And a lot of the sightings is that there isn't really any signs. A bit of an eeriness to it as well. But when you do get the sound, very eerie there. Oh, and you felt the low hum as well, like that as well. It was on an RAS base, and nothing was flying. So you felt the air temperature, but there was nothing visible. Interesting there, and maybe the location gives you the key. Maybe you can, because this is we go back to the Warminster thing. Back in the 60s, we're right on the edge of Salisbury Plain, the training area. And again, back at that time, there were sightings of weird shit over the ranges. Well, where would you test things? Where were the Tic Tacs seen? Over the military flying ranges, the training right there. Where would you test the reverse engineered stuff there, military facilities there? So maybe there's a connection with all of those there. And ours was definitely the typical UFO with bright lights, and a bloke was walking alone outside, looking up there. A classic saucer type there. That is pretty cool. I'd love to see the classic saucer. Thank you for sharing it there. And putting it not simply is a lot of folklore that doesn't fit here. It's true, but they are interesting. And I hope you and Leanne are doing well. Thank you there, Rachel. The family has had this bug. Leanne's had it, but touch wood, I haven't caught it. But yeah, she's been poorly for a few days, but milking it there. And here in Sosterberg, their airbase did the flying cars under the landing track there. They're going to build houses on that. Oh, yeah, they're always developing them. Pleasure, Tennessee. Love it there. I'd love to visit Tennessee. I bet you've seen, seen some interesting things over your skies. Very, very active there. Payla, if you post them here on TikTok, tag us in it so we can see it there. But alternatively, we've got a Discord community link in bio for that. We've got a personal experiences section, which is very active. A lot of you guys are posting your accounts with the phenomena, images and videos too. And that way, then everybody can see it. They don't just disappear after the stream there. So if you're interested in that, do join us over there for that. And it goes to anyone, guys. There are lots of just general UFO news, stream stuff, but we also do an alien movie club once a month. I think that's going to be next Friday. We're going to be watching that together there. So Leanne in person. She's a rare. I tried to open the bedroom window, but my mum stopped me. I mean, I would have been nervous too there, because you don't know that there have been a history of injuries from the craft. Now, not necessarily because the craft are what's the word? Not out of malice, you know, they're not necessarily bad, but like if you were to stand behind, you know, a rocket, you're going to get burned. There might be a lot of that, and they do think that one of the methods of propulsion is basically a warp drive. Doesn't break physics, you just need a lot of energy to do it there. You're warping space and time around yourself there. But what happens is when you're bending space and time there, in the gravitational lensing of the light, it can actually blue shift or red shift the radio waves as well that are coming off of the craft, which would have otherwise been harmless. But if they're shifted the frequency, they can become dangerous. And a lot of people get radiation burns from that, and I think that might be part of what is going on there. And yeah, me and my boyfriend saw something black walking towards us, but it disappeared. That was, that would freak me out there. Ignore how round your head is there, Leanne. It is a round head. Radiation worries or bacteria, but you don't think of that at 10 there. Just one. Oh, that's the thing. And I think part of it, I'd be equally terrified. And knowing all that, in my head, I'd still be, I want to touch it. When do you else get a chance to touch it? But so far, touching is a bad idea from all of the accounts that we've heard. But I still would be a bit tempted there. Let me catch up over on the tube. Sorry, guys, it's taken me a while to get to the end of the messages there. Let me have a look. Sorry, guys. Where are we? Oh God, I've missed 1,000 messages. It's hard to keep up there. You guys are busy tonight. Let me just start where I am here. Oh, Raf's in. How are you doing, Raf? There. Oh, you're having a bit of a chat. And Jason's in there. You're good for doing this live. Takes my mind off sad thoughts and feeling down. Even if it's only for a while there. Jason, sorry to hear. You're not feeling too great there as well. But you'll be surprised. It's the exact reason why I do it. Honestly, doing this means I'm not in my head. And when I'm in my head, I'm spiraling. So, yeah, if I don't do this, I feel a lot worse. So I do feel you there. And just, guys, if you get something out of the stream, I was surprised how many people use this to fall asleep to. I'm like, what? How can anybody fall asleep to my nasally voice? But hey, if you're enjoying it, if you get something from it, then you're welcome there. But the other part from it is this community, actually getting to know people. And you know, spending evenings with people. I am quite enjoying that one. So welcome, very much welcome for that one there. Where are we? Sam, you was meant to have some chewing gum. Oh, in the middle. I wasn't I? I was going to go full nerd for you. I'm sorry, I let you down again. That and the tracking, Raf. Just constantly letting you down there. And if aliens were real, I would get them to use their lasers to my partner with spina bifida. Oh, wow, that's tough to be able to walk. Yeah, well, they are meant to have certain wonderful abilities, aren't they? There. Why don't they share it? The Travis Walton story comes to mind there. Initially, he thought that they kind of attacked him, did him a bit of damage there. But I think in his later years, he's realised that he probably got in the way of their craft, got an injury from that, and that they actually healed him. You do wonder what secrets and possibilities might be just around the corner for us. We can always hope there. That sounds very, very tough though, Jason there. And where are we? You're having a chat. Let's scroll through there. Where are we there? See, I can't tell on the tube when you're having an internal conversation or when you're talking to me. That takes me ages. What is that? You're trying to keep in a fart, Raf? Jesus. It's gone sideways over on the tubes, guys. There. Do you think aliens would be able to help people? I like my partner with spina bifida being able to walk. It's a very, very good question. And I really don't know the answer to that one. I do hear stories that it would be a possibility, technologically speaking, having the tools there. But are they here to interfere is the main question. And I think for a lot of reasons, there's a lot of people talking about that. Yes, they are actually actively involved there. They keep it a bit private, but they do like to meddle, so it might be a possibility. And other people say they treat us like a zoo. They only interfere when they have to there. But there is a strong reverse engineering component to all of this. It is theorized that we are and have been looking into their technology from crashes and things like that. And where we actually have a lot of our technological advances may well have come from these programs. So even if they're not actively themselves, maybe their technology is there. And if we can, listen, they can't release anything or can't use technology that they've developed that's 10 steps ahead. It kind of gives the game away. So maybe if the stigma goes around this, we do accept that there is something out there, maybe they can then go, yeah, by the way, guys, we've got some of this technology. So it could be a possibility for that one there. And Sainsbury's bag freak me out. They do, man, they do. Only when you think that, no, it's because it sounded like footsteps rustling through leaves. I was like, there's no leaves around here. We're in the middle of nowhere. There, Ken's in there. How you doing? Question: if a little grey and naked man with big eyes and who didn't look like anything you've seen before come up to your door and knocked, would you let him in? I thought about this one. Only earlier today, I was listening to a podcast with somebody describing one of their abduction experiences, and it wasn't exactly a negative one, but in my head, like, I couldn't, even if they were like, we come in peace, we just want to show you stuff, I'd drop kick it, you know, like, I couldn't, it just would mess me up, especially if they want to come in the middle of the night there. I'm like, no, you can sod off, you know, like, you've got to, you know, make an appointment, send me an email first, take me out for dinner. You can't just come in my room and want me to be probed. It would freak me out, basically. Well, trust me, nobody answered the door to me, so I'm getting human reactions. Fear first. I think so there. And GWAC there. A rough 5 days working down south there. Well, down south is rough. There. Not over our way, GWAC. And because I leave you for 500 hours, or I have to come off stream sometime there. And I can't even read that one out, Zen, but that did make me laugh there. Let me scroll down where we are there. And is that Neil or Nell? My eyes aren't working tonight with these glasses. There, dude, I just spat my coffee. Thank you. Thank you. I try. 1 in 100, maybe. There, and Leanne, thank you for feeding Alan.
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
Back over to the TikTok to see how far behind I am with your messages now. I thought this would be good to spread ourselves out across multiple platforms, but technically we've got 3 going, and it takes me a while. Let's catch up there. No, I did that one there. That was Leanne talking about her round head there. Oh, thanks for the chat there, Asa. Nice to speak with like-minded. Asa, you're very much welcome. Hope you're still here. And hopefully we'll see you later on in the week. Remember, guys, we do this when it's cloudy. We're listening out for alien radio signals there. But when it's a clear sky, we do a UFO, UAP skywatch. And that's what it looks like. We see all the weird and wonderful things flying around in the night sky over Wiltshire here in the UK. So join us for that this week. We should have a good few opportunities again. So if you're following, you should get a notification when we go live there. We definitely need the distraction tonight there. Hold on. Yep. Yeah, Alan. Can you go abduct Kate? She's a distraction. There we go. I've sent Alan. Kate, you'll be with you in about 5 minutes. There. And the theory I have is why they're trying to create a small pulsar is to use magnetism for propulsion. I mean, magnetism, this is an under talked about phenomena, isn't it? In fact, it's quite a bit old school. There was early theories around using magnetism there, because it's one of the, I don't think magnetism is quite fundamental, but it's everywhere. You know, if you want to use it, it's quite a very interesting angle for propulsion there, and that would make sense with a lot of things there. Very interesting. Oh, you need to get him drunk, your friend, and then get some more details out of him there. And Ridley there, how does warp interact with interstellar objects at superluminal speeds? I wonder. Oh, this is something to get my head around, but I did get the answer to this the other day. So what happens is, if you are warping space and time, trying to get your head around, you're making a bubble around yourself. It's its own pocket of reality in the universe. And what you're doing, essentially, there is you can move anywhere because it's your own bubble. That, you know, what will happen is that reality will just part around you. You know, kind of like if you think, you know, how water parts, we jumped into water, it kind of goes around us. You know, that's what reality, you can go through solid objects, because for you, in your bubble of reality, that isn't there. So it will just blend around you. It's crazy to think of how that could work. But apparently one of the things is that when you come out of your bubble, as the moisture in the atmosphere of your warp bubble meets out, like example, our atmosphere and here on Earth, the moisture condenses and you get mist, which is part of the reason why they do think a lot of the old UFO images are quite blurry. That and the gravitational lenses. There's probably a reason why we haven't got a lot of very, very good pictures, because of the nature of how it works. But they did study a lot of the videos, especially some of the newer ones, some of the images, and you can actually see these certain mist patterns around the craft, and it fits perfectly with the maths of how those interactions would work there. I do, Leanne. I do point at the full moon and say it's your face. There, Simon. It's nice to feel like we are not judged on here, as we are all like-minded, 100% there, you know. And this is the thing: if we all come in and we all share our ideas. Now, we can have different opinions. We can, and this is we're all independent. We've all heard different things. We all come from different places, so we're all going to be slightly different. But we are trying to figure this problem out there. And you never know who's going to come in with a slightly different version. Might be that missing puzzle piece that you need there. I think together. We'll all piece this puzzle together there. And Ben, thank you for feeding Alan.
Nom nom nom, thanks, guys.
There. You don't even let your in-laws in, Kate. Is Alan knocking at the door now there? And what's everyone's thoughts on Black-Eyed Kids or Rio? Ooh. So they touch in, don't they? There's a long history, isn't there, over a very long period of time there of these weird black-eyed children. Now, are we tapping into the paranormal, or could this be related to the phenomena? And I do think that there is going to be a very strong connection. Now, it might not literally be the same thing there. It might not necessarily be that black-eyed kids are aliens or whatever there, but I'm sure that the laws that allow for the paranormal side of things will probably be very similar to the interactions there we see with the wider UFO world there. Getting your hockey stick there for Alan. Back, Alan, back there. 100% Ben. Do keep us back. It's fascinating there. And is that Diva there? How are you doing? Thank you for the follow. Good to have you in. Where are you joining us from tonight there? And I think more research needs to be done on the paranormal stuff. 100% Ben. 100% there. Simon loving the stickers. I think there's going to be a lot of overlap, even if it is just the underlying rules of it working. I think this area of unknown and what is very close to magic, whatever those rules that govern that may well be, you know, responsible for the alien and the spooky. Should Ben your ghost kit. Leanne has ghost. I don't know where it is. Oh, it's over there. Leanne has a little ghost kit. We haven't used it yet. We're forever saying we're going to go and do a bit of a ghost hunt or something like that. But we haven't got around to it yet there. You're getting in bed, but I feel too fat to move after that dinner. Was that the Frey Bentos mac and cheese? It's a special Sunday meal there. Add some lights in your space pod, then. I think so. Nice colourful fairy lights there. I'll do a meme of me drop kicking Alan right across the screen. Where's my cursor gone now? It's across 5 different monitors. Now it's on the wrong one. All right, there we are. They may have the answers, we don't there. Better still, both of you get in there and use. They might have the answers. I don't think it's connected there. I am a bit of a scaredy cat. We did the Estes Method live once. We did, and that is where we met a few of you. It's where we met Maya. That was the one time we did do a bit of a spooky stream. And Maya, you're still here, fighting strong, looking after sick bay. Alan does snore, yes. Oh, had a Morley's there. Oh, very nice there. I knew you'd pick up the paranormal there, man. Where are we? I'm a bit of a scaredy cat there. But we'd love to experiment, I think, a bit more. We've just got to find some locations to do it. Now, I want a few of you guys to help me out for a second. I'm testing a new version of the Starship Alan, but rather than the Patreons, it's the Discord community, right? So if you're on our Discord community right now, I need you to do me a favour, right? So we're going to swap over. Oh, that is the Starship Alan. Hold on. Whilst we're waiting for the signals to come through, and it's this one. Right. There we go. So this is a version of the Starship Alan, but it's drawing in the Discord community dots. The idea for this, right, is that you'll go to a certain room, which represents the channels that we have in the Discord. And if you type in and chatting, you'll come up a speech bubble. So if you're on our Discord, could you right now go onto our Discord, go to whichever channel you like on the Discord, and start chatting away. I want to see if how quickly, how many messages it does cap and show on the screen there. So we'll see how accurate it is. It was working mostly last night with one, but I don't know if it'll break it if we're having more. And the idea is it should also recognize when you're online, and your dot should ping as well. But like that physical representation, but I have no idea. It's a bit janky at the second. So yeah, we need to see. I can hear some pinging, but I can't see it on the screen yet. Oh, there we go. We got a hi down there from Carl, who I think you're in the personal experiences at the second. Is it going to move you to your location? But it's pinging there. Oh, I think Ben's still pinging, showing online there, but I didn't see a message. Oh, it's very, very hit and miss. Oh, there we go. Evening nerds from Kate. Thank you. And up, hello, fellow human family. There we go. There we go. And it's moving you now to the channels, so your dots will move across the screen to the channels that you're talking in. It might take you a while to get there. I like to figure that one out. But yeah, because I can hear pinging of messages, but it's not doing it. It's only doing it every now and again. It's not doing it in real time. Don't mind a bit of a delay. But it's taking its time, isn't it? I think we're going to need more work on this. Oh, there you go. It's bloody Sunday evening. There we go. Thank you. There's that Raf. Yeah, that is Raf. How do we know? So keep a note and let me know how many of your messages pop up on here, and if it's missing like every other one, or detecting the first but not getting the rest. And then I can hopefully debug it there. But it's showing a few of you online. Oh, there we go. Ping there from Rio. And Alan is a rude prick. Yeah. And ping there. Thank you, Ben, as well there. Maya is in. Oh, yeah. And Carl as well. So it's getting a bit of it. It's getting a bit of it. You was, Ben, and you're very helpful because you were coming in doing the numbers. So it's actually not just that we was there we goes one from Maya. So it's not just that you were sending messages and I could see them, but you were doing the consecutive numbers, so I could see if it was missing them. It was actually very, very useful, and it was missing them there. It's a bit of an upgrade there. It's more of a space station. It's not ship shaped. This one. There. And so what's your plan this evening? Is it audio, or are we going to do the star grid? So sadly it's cloudy tonight, so it's audio only for us tonight. I will double check, but tomorrow is meant to be good. I will get the weather forecast up. So we are listening out until those skies part, which is sadly not all that often here in the UK. Although in the summer it's quite good. It does happen there. Not just what there. So after I've already called everyone a nerd. Oh, there you go, Mayor. Thank you. I can see your ones there. Luckily, I can hear the Discord pings as well, so I can kind of get an idea that it is missing a few there. Oh, night, Simon. Thank you for joining us again. We'll see you probably tomorrow there, but I hope you have a good day. Thank you, Mayor, there. I can see those ones as well. Was that Intergalactic Pornhub subscription renewing? Who was that? As Carl. I didn't realise it was posting your statuses as well as the messages. Did it miss a lot of your messages, guys? Did you see all of your ones pop up there? Did it get them all but delayed? Or was it, did it miss a few? We'll switch back over to the radio signal in a second. I can't see start. Everything's too small. Yeah, actually, I suppose on your screen it is quite small there. Okay, well, that was a good test. It was getting multiples through. Looks good. Thank you, Carl, there. There's definitely a delay. We'll have to think of some better ways to do this. There we go. Back to the actual stream of what we're doing. But thank you for being guinea pigs as always tonight. Didn't get a chance to test the tracking tonight. I was hoping it'll be clear and I could jump on for a couple of hours there to improve that, but it didn't quite work there. I saw the names flash, but nothing about what I... Oh, okay. I did see a couple from UA up. I saw Alan's one. Did you send more? I might have been delay there. It is. Look, we've got... I mean, there's a few that are jumping up around at the minute. We've got this one's quite clear. That one's coming through quite clear. But even around here, there's lots of activity. But they have been with us for a while tonight. They are, aren't they, mate? You tell them. They're rude. Yeah, so thank you for helping me with that one. Looks like we need more testing of that one. So we'll be roping you in again once I've done some updates. I saw a couple from you, Ab. I don't know if it caught all of them on there. So, if you are joining us, we are doing a live alien radio signal hunt tonight. We are searching the hydrogen line. That is the channel on the radio dial that scientists theorise we are most likely to hear a message from ET should they be out there. These two lines here, and we want that green, the red line to be like the green one there. And what type of noises are we looking out to here? Good question. I'm not quite sure. They'll probably just be bleeps, but really it's the visuals. We want to see the clear spikes on or ever so slightly around these two marks there. So we're getting a few little interference spikes, but really what basically actually what the green line looks like there, even on these charts, that should look quite similar. You know, so it's not just the precise needle, that tends to be interference there. So there is a slight curve to it. That is what we're on the lookout for tonight there. And I haven't said it yet, but this here, if you want to do this at home, the manufacturer, Nuelec, very kindly are doing a little competition with us, which we're not actually too far away, just over a week from doing the announcements or actually picking there. So if you want to win the starter kits, they're giving away 3 of the starter kits, so you can do this sort of thing at home, plus lots of other radio cool things there. All you got to do is join our Discord, link in the bio there. There's a channel in there called competition. Type the word alien and then you'll be in a chance to win it. And I think we've got like 30 applications now. It's not many at all, so that's a 1 in 10 with the free sets there, so definitely worth giving it a go. Got to be over 18, UK, North America or Europe, but other than that, yeah, the odds are good. And we'll be doing a live draw on the last day of the month, which I think is not this Tuesday coming, the Tuesday after, I think. So keep your eye out for that, and then you can start doing this. Had a theory on the Flash that we see sometimes. And have you seen Star Trek with Picard? I have, but not consistently, Carl. I've seen a few episodes. Leanne, on the other hand, will know exactly, so she can inform me there. When he says engage and the ship warps, there's a flash. Oh, I did wonder if he was going to go yes. So this is a possibility. This is a possibility there. Certain things like that would cause a flash, even if it's more of a traditional rocket propulsion. There, that is going to cause an illumination, isn't it there? And if it's big enough, it's bright enough, they do think that we could be seeing flashes from these things. There are actual weird flashes and sort of radio detections, bursts, which could be something like this out there. I mean, it's still very early days, there's still plenty of analysis to be done, but it could well be seeing something like that in action. I think when we did the deep dive, didn't we, on the warp drive technology, I think the second part of that deep dive, not just the paper on how warp drives work, but the other one was on how we can detect them. And I think at the minute we don't have the right antennae, basically, for the right frequency to listen out for these things. But they could be going on the whole time. We just don't have the equipment to listen and to hear and to detect them. So it could well be there. And Ben, thank you for the creeper. Looks like a little square Alan. He's been watching the TV too closely there. And Ben as well.
Nom nom nom. Thanks, guys.
Missed a few there, sorry. It all goes back into the streams. Do appreciate that. Helps us improve what we are doing there. But it's a good theory, Carl. I mean, I think there's going to be loads of evidence there. We're going to realise this. We've been seeing it the whole damn time. One of my favourite ones is... This, I think, really speaks to science there, and I'm going to get it slightly wrong. I'm not a precise person here, but you'll get the gist. Mars, the red planet. Well, it's not. It's only quite a recent, last 30 or so years there that we've. It might be a lot less than that actually. That we've agreed in the scientific community that Mars probably had water, was very Earth-like in its younger days. There, that was still. So that's only a recent theory. Beyond that, that was still a bit kooky. Where's the evidence for it, Carl?
Nom nom nom. Thanks, guys.
Speaking Alan, there, it wasn't widely accepted. You're still on the fringes for having that theory. But it turns out that Mars is red because it had an oxygen atmosphere that has oxidized the iron content in the soil there. So if Mars hadn't have had an Earth-like history, it wouldn't be red. So the evidence of that had been staring us in the face since the dawn of time there, but science wouldn't push it there. That was crazy. And now they're saying Mars life is very, very plausible. I mean, how many times do we have to say? They've already had the evidence for that. They've had it since the 70s. And if Mars has got life, if Earth has got life, and Venus, detections in the clouds there, life is going to be quite common. And then we can look to other sorts of detections here. So we're doing we're looking for a techno signature there, a signature of technology and therefore intelligent life. But the other version of this is looking out for biosignatures there, just looking for life itself there, evidence of strange gases in the atmospheres of these distant exoplanets. And there is a little, actually it's not so little, I think it's a bit bigger than Earth, a planet called K218b. It's quite far away from us here, but we do think we have had multiple detections of a gas in its atmosphere that we only know to be produced by life on Earth there. So there's strong indication that we actually have evidence already of life. Might not be intelligent, they probably think it's like a lot of algae, something like that, but they do think, you know, that we've had life evidence from those distant worlds there. So I think life is going to be abundant in the same way that, you know, there is bacteria on everything in this room, absolutely everywhere. It'll just grow, you know, by default. I think the rest of the world is going to be like that as well. A nom nom a day keeps the Allen at bay. It does. And on those nights that we don't stream, he's hounding me all night. The bedroom door opens, a creak, the light comes in, I just see these two antennae come in. I'm, Alan, no. And he goes away in a sulk then, because he's trying to probe me. There. How you doing, Harko, over there? And Benjamin, imagine living on Saturn and it rains diamonds. Oh my God. Venus as well, it rains liquid metal as well, doesn't it? Like, some of the environments are truly alien. You know, like, getting your head around how strange space can be. There are planets, they call them cotton candy planets there, because their consistency is the equivalent, basically, of cotton candy. The whole bloody planet is made out of that. They're so not dense. It's crazy there. And Beard there. Evening all. I live very close to the A70 there, a location of an alleged UFO and abduction incident in 1992. This area of Scotland was once a UFO hospital. Oh, brilliant. And thank you for sharing us. Have you ever seen anything that might be a bit weird yourself there, living there? I'd love to hear that one as well. There. And when we think of going faster than a light there, when we think of going faster than light speed, how do we slow down now? Well, good question here. So if you're traveling fast, like essentially up in space, there's no resistance, there's no friction, there's no atmosphere. It's a near vacuum, not quite a total vacuum as we first thought, but it's a near vacuum. So if I was to roll a ball on a flat surface here on Earth, eventually the momentum slows down because, you know, it's meeting the resistance of our atmosphere there. But in space, there's none of that atmosphere. So if you move something, it just keeps fucking going at that speed. So if you speed up to whatever that speed is, then you've got to apply the same amount of energy to slow down again. So that is a big part of all this space travel. You know, if it's going to take you a while to build up that speed, you know, you can't just then faster than light from A to B, because then you've got to fucking slow down. Now, if we were to do it technically via the warp drive method, you're not actually moving in a traditional sense. That's how you get around the faster than light rule, is because you're not moving. The universe is moving and you're just sitting still. That's the kind of the way they twist the rules there for that one. And wonder if the ant-men live on the cotton candy planets there. They'll be straight after it there. The magic money printing machine there, or resource printing there. No one can hear you. And they can't, exactly. There's no atoms, you know, there to vibrate that signal of your voice across it there. And Ridley, I came across a good one the other day, actually, about bullets in space. So they reckon it carries on. Oh, actually, I hadn't thought about it. Yeah. I mean, if there's no resistance, bang. Yeah, you don't travel in straight lines in space as well. But once you're up there, the issue for us is getting out of the gravity well of our Earth. That's where most of that rocket fuel comes into use. They're just getting us out of the gravity. Then once you're up there, it don't take much. It don't take much to get you from A to B. But we don't tend to travel, you know, in a straight line to Mars, because everything's in motion, everything's in orbit. What they do is they just kind of like slingshot themselves around all the other stars. They try and wait for the alignment to be right, and they go, right, slingshot around Mars, slingshot around Venus, slingshot around Saturn, Jupiter, you know, and then they pick up a bit of speed on each one as well. Quite a grand tour if you get them all there. For 18 billion light years before even starting to show signs of slowing down there. And see, that's if there's no resistance, then things will just keep going. You know, there's nothing to stop them. We're used to things on Earth, you know, and there's a lot of weird things that we have here on Earth that we take for standard, because this is the environment that us and everybody we've known always operates in there. So let alone all the, you know, the physics there of general relativity that we take for granted. But time is another one as well. Time we think is a universal constant, But it's not. It's not a plus and minus like we treat it with time zones here on Earth. Because it took me so long to get my head around this that, you know, I think, well, gravity, you know, slows time down around that planet here. So does that mean it's plus or minus of this and that? But there's got to be like a universal constant for the time. But no, time is actually much more like weather. It's an emergent property of mass and space-time. So, like, it in Spain doesn't mean might not, you know, like time is just this weird pockets sort of. Maybe best way to think of it is how thick the atmosphere is in a certain area there, you know, some sort of resistance against your progression forward. But it's crazy to wrap your head around it there. It's true, I get with the warp drive, because space moves exactly, and it sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but it's crazy, isn't it? That's how it works. And apparently you can do it without breaking physics. The only reason that we haven't actually done it is it requires a hell of a lot of energy to do that we don't have access to. So it's still theoretical for us there, and more so detectable as such than being visibly noticeable there. That is quite a crazy way. I never thought it, but it says about 18 billion light years. That is some bloody distance there. That is, well, it's definitely, I think the Milky Way is 100 million light years across, or is it a million light years across, or something like that, you know. So yeah, that's before it would slow down. That is crazy. So it has to travel that far to get all of that resistance to slow it down there. Where are we over on the tubes there? I always up until late there. Brain does it. Oh, Raf, I feel you with that one. Starship Alan Sleep Zone. Enjoy your time with us. Yeah, we're going to slip over to sleepy time now. Laggy, is it? Is it laggy for anyone else? Our internet says it's okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because TikTok can mess around there. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. So you're trying to give me elocution lessons there. How you doing, M to the C? Good to see ya. So yeah, remember guys to do join the Discord and enter the competition. It won't be long. Should we switch back over to the Starship Alan briefly? No, that's the wrong one. Where's my cursor? Let's bring us to the actual Starship Alan. Is that one and that one? There we go. So this is the Starship Alan here. All of you guys, all of our supporters are brought into here and visualized as dots. So we have to get it from Patreon. But or you can sign up even just for the free version, and then you can see yourself moving around and getting on with your space tour. So can you spot yourself in here? Like Captain Bluenose is in the conference room there with Carl, obviously having some sort of very serious conversation there. B is on the bridge. A up is still in Alan's ready room with Harco. Oh no, Harco's in the armory actually. Gary and Real Kate. Oh no, Real Kate's in the armory now, but Gary is in sick bay there. Where is Maya? You're in the teleporter room there, and V is in the hydroponics bay. Simon is once again back on the holodeck there. Fake Kate is in the shuttle bay with Alan, and Beer Buster's in the bar. Oh, he's just left the bar. Raf is in the Chicago bay. Ben is in the engine room. So is Vinny is in the in engineering there. Where is? Oh, I think Rio is on the bridge there with Leanne as well. Can you spot yourself on board the Starship Alan? I could watch this for hours. Oh, if you want to get the cool pinging effect as well, you can log in and link your Discord to it, and then you kind of get the cool pinging effect there. But you can random things. No, it's Kate. Oh, no lagging in your end. It always blows my mind when we can see the planets midway with our eyes on it. It does, and we're looking back in time as well, isn't it? There. And thanks for the status report there. Oh, you haven't seen the Starship Alan, Ridley? It's kind of a newish feature. I think we had it in January. Oh, there goes the internet. Hopefully that's going to come back. Hold on. Why? Sorry, guys. This is. I'll blame Leanne. Hopefully it's sorted itself out a bit there. You're and Chloe are in the same room. It's fun, isn't it, to watch you guys move around. Just trying to see. I don't know what's going off in here. Leanne must be updating something. All of my devices are off here. See if I can. See if there's any culprits.